everybody's got people they like and they don't like and what have you. Um, there really wasn't anybody. I can't think of any one person that I just didn't like or just well, I guess the one that comes to mind that, and it's because of an attitude I saw. See, I'm a guy who grew up in wrestling.
Right.
My father wrestled. Wrestling has been in my family all my life. But when Jim Hellwig came in as the Warrior, um, now I can understand being ambitious and wanting to, but it seemed to me that he had no time for anybody. In other words, it's kind of like, you're going to get in the ring with me, and I'm going to do my best to make you look good, and you can acknowledge me. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like,
Right.
um, I don't, if you talk with a dozen guys, 11 of them are going to agree with me. He just wasn't, I don't know. And I don't know what it was. I mean, I admired him because it takes a great deal of discipline to keep your body looking like that all the time.
Of
You got
course.
to be really strict and in the gym and on top of it, but if what I was wanting and what everybody else was wanting was spend as much time learning how to wrestle as it is to, because if you ever hear his interviews,
Sure did.
he'd talk for 2 minutes and I'd look at somebody and go, what the hell did he just say?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So you'd
Anyway,
go out. So Ted, you'd go out there with him. You'd bump all over the ring for him. You get in the back, and he wasn't appreciative. No,
not
huh?
much. No. And there's a lot of guys who feel like I do, you know, and sorry that, I mean, God, God bless him, I don't wish anybody to die. And he obviously died way too young. And but I will give him credit where credit's due. He worked at, and he worked very hard at maintaining his appearance. Okay. But that's not all there was to it. And I hope that he didn't think that that's all he had to do,
Right.
because I don't know. It's just wasn't a very likable person in my, and I asked 11 other wrestlers. I think 10 of them will tell you the same thing.
Right.
And you're shaking your head like you've heard it before.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's a shame, especially because your specialty was going in there against less talented wrestlers. You
Yeah,
wouldn't wrestle down to their level. You would bring them up to your
yeah,
level.
yeah, exactly. So, and that's largely due because I grew up in the business, and like wrestling is not like, you don't just we're going to do this and then we're going to do this and then we're going to do this. I've seen guys do that. You might do something in a match one night and you get a really big response from the crowd. Wow, okay. And you might do the same thing the next night in front of another crowd, and you don't get the same response, or you get less response. And what you have to do as a worker, a wrestler, is you've got to be able to adapt. And I'm going to try to think. I think like Pittsburgh for me was always a hard town. It was kind of like, the Steelers. Yeah, well, they were. I'm telling you, they were hardcore, all right. I mean, it was kind of like I'd go out there and do stuff, and sometimes I go, what do I have to do to make these people get mad at
Right.
me? Slit somebody's throat. But anyway, and every crowd was different, so yeah,
Right.
yeah, those are things that you learn as you grow in the business. So there you have
Awesome.
it. And then as people say, well, what are you doing now, Ted? I said, well, I'm still wrestling. They said, you are? I said, yeah. I said, I have a different opponent. I said, but I've got the greatest tag team partner in the universe. I said, I'm an ordained minister, and my partner's name is Jesus Christ, and my enemy is the devil. And so I'm doing everything I can on a daily basis to take him out. So can you imagine that? The $1 million man,
No.
a minister, the $1 million minister.
Hey, everybody's got to pray, right? There you go. I just gave you a new line,
There
Ted.
you go. Yeah, I got a new
Look
life.
at
He's got to pray. I love it.
that. Good,
That's awesome,
good.
man. That's
Uh,
awesome. But look,
Ted,
wrestling has been the joy of my life. Like I said, there were some that you like guys. There's guys you don't like. Jim Hellwig was the one guy that always just kind of ruffled my feathers the wrong way. But again, I'm not totally knocking him. I just, he was just different in a lot of ways. And um, another guy that's a very good friend of mine that the first time that Hellwig showed up, he was with Steve Borden. Steve
sure,
Borden is Sting.
sure.
And since Sting told me some things about Hellwig that helped me understand the guy a little bit better. So yeah. But hey, I love wrestling. People say, if you could do it all over again, would you still do it? I said, absolutely. I said, a lot of people go to work every day because they have to,
Right.
and they might not necessarily hate it, but it's not like, oh boy, this is going to be a blast. But I'm a guy who went to work every day and absolutely loved what I did. And again, some of those days were kind of rough, because especially when the long, hard the travel days and things like that. And yes, wrestling is showbiz, but you still get hurt, and you got to work through the pain. There's times when you be, I mean, I can remember having a match, and I was so sick. But I mean, if you're on the marquee and people paid their money, you got to go. And I would roll out of the ring, and I would roll under the ring and throw
Oh,
up
wow.
where nobody could see it. And then I'd roll back out, get back in the ring. Ugh.
Wow.
Well,
That's crazy.
everything's got a price.
And and everybody's got to pray.
There you go, boss. That's
Awesome.
awesome.